Hi everyone, welcome to Rocket AT. Today's video is all about co-regulation, what it is, why it's important, and what you can do to use it in order to develop the self-regulation skills of an individual that you might be living with or working with, and supporting in your homes or in your school, in your therapy clinic, wherever it is that you are working or living with a person, whether that be a child or an adolescent or even a young adult or older adult even. Regardless of age, co-regulation is really important, which we'll get into later. So don't be dissuaded if you think that this is just a video for little kids. It really isn't. And we'll get into the importance of that a little bit later. But first I want to talk about what is co-regulation. It is a term that you might have heard before, or that you might be vaguely aware of, or that's something that you've never come across before. So in order to define it, it's really when one person uses themselves in order to help regulate another person. So it might be using tone of voice, it might be using words, it might be using actions, giving them a hug or getting them something, or making amends to their environment, making changes to things around them in order to regulate them. So regulate their thoughts, regulate their feelings, their arousal level, their attention, or their behavior. Depending on the age of the person that you're co-regulating, it's going to look really different. So for those of you that don't know, I have a 5.5-month-old son, and he needs quite a lot of co-regulation because the world is really new to him. He's not yet experienced much in his life in the grand scheme of things. So new experiences can be pretty overwhelming. He needs lots of cuddles, he needs lots of support, he can't independently move around. We give him a lot of attention, being able to read his body cues because he's not able to talk yet. So all those kind of things that, that are really nurturing and caring is something that you might do for an infant. But then, people think, oh, okay, so that's co-regulation. And, once they hit, I don't know, 3 or 4 or, whatever arbitrary number you want to put on it, that they don't need co-regulation anymore. That's when they should be able to self-regulate. Once they go to kindy, once they go to preschool, once they're in primary school, that's when they should be able to self-regulate. And if they're not self-regulating, then there's a problem. When in fact, we actually rely on co-regulation throughout our entire lifespan. It is, the key factor. A lot of studies have said that it is a really key determinant of self-regulation development and, skill development. So it is really important, but it is also something that we still use even once we have developed self-regulation skills. It might, as an adult, it might look like someone bringing you a cup of coffee, or, giving you a hug or a pat on the back if you're, feeling a little bit down. It could be, having a bit of a debrief with a friend or a boss about something that's a bit challenging for you. So it's not just something that's, like hugging and nurturing and, caring for someone who's of a really young age. It's something that follows us throughout our entire lifespan. So for older children or adolescents, it's still really important. It's something that their brains and their bodies still need in order to develop their self-regulation skills, but it's something that's often neglected. So there's a really interesting study that came out in about 2016, I think it is, which said that even though co-regulation is a key factor in self-regulation development, that by preschool age, only half of any therapy working on self-regulation development uses co-regulation as a I guess technique, as a skill set to support self-regulation development. And by the time a child is in school, that drops to 10%. So the other 90% of therapies in children in therapy to support their self-regulation aren't even using the number one thing that could support their self-regulation skill development, which is really, really disappointing and really sad, I think, definitely for the child involved, but also for the parents and the teachers and the therapists who are trying to support this child to engage in whatever activities or occupations that they're trying to engage in. So why is co-regulation not used more in therapy? To be honest, I don't really know. I think I guess I have some theories as to why. Maybe it's a bit more challenging, coaching and modeling and supporting another adult to develop skills can be a bit of a challenge, and other times the individual themselves might not necessarily want their caregiver or teacher or parent, whoever is that key figure, involved in therapy as much. Maybe they like to have that sort of independence in their own therapy, which is great, and obviously if an individual can and is independent in being able to develop and take ownership over their own self-regulation skills, that's fantastic and something that we really want to support and foster. But at the same time, I think it's really important that we are giving the education and the skill building and the support to the other key people in an individual's life in order for them to be able to co-regulate. Because as therapists, if you're a therapist watching this, we're not there all the time, and parents, you're not there all the time either. Your child goes to school, your child goes to other events and activities. So if we can get all of those key figures on board throughout, like within a child's life, then we have a greater chance of success, that they are successful in being able to engage in those occupations using those self-regulation skills. One major aspect of co-regulation is being able to model or demonstrate those self-regulation skills. So it's really important that the person themselves is able to self-regulate, because if an individual can't see it, then they can't do it. That's true for any range of skills. If it's holding a fork, or if it's going to the toilet independently, they need to actually be able to see what it is that they're supposed to be doing or expected to be doing in our society, in order for them to then be able to replicate those skills independently. So that's it for my video today. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please reach out. If you can like or share this video, that would be amazing. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications when I release new videos, and keep an eye out for that next video on how to be a good co-regulator. I do have a blog post up from a couple of years ago, so I'll try and reshare that so that it's at the top of my page again, because it is a really good starting point to learn more about co-regulation and how you can implement some of those skills that I'm sure you already have, or develop some new ones while you're at it. But as always, have a lovely day. Thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.